So, I think it was last week, near the end of the week, that I talked about lunch. And this video isn't going to be too different. I want to talk about cravings. They can come in all sorts of ways. You can crave food, you can crave attention, you can crave drugs, although I think that's what they call an addiction. But people crave all sorts of things. When women are pregnant, you hear about them having cravings, pregnancy cravings. Sometimes people just like, oh man, I'm really craving fill in the blank. And it's an interesting thing because sometimes it's a camper pulling a camper. It's kind of funny. Excuse me. Sometimes a craving isn't met and it goes away on its own. Sometimes you have to have that thing or it's never going to go away. And sometimes, even after you've had it, it still hasn't gone away. So it's a very strange situation when you're craving something. Especially when you can't put your finger on exactly what it is. Like right now, I'm craving something, but I don't know what it is. Like, it's food related. I want this specific taste in my mouth, and I don't know what it is. Like, you kind of feel it. You ever get that where you can feel the texture, like it's chewy or it's crunchy or it's whatever, and you can even feel the flavor, like cheesy or sweet or salty. But you can't quite put your finger on what it is. That's what I'm experiencing right at this instant. I am craving something delicious, but I don't know what it is. And that's, to me, the worst kind of craving. It's like, what do I want? What do I want to have? And then I got to thinking about how small of a problem that actually is. There are people in this very country, in Texas right now, who are craving a home. A place to go back to that is completely destroyed. There are children, not just on the other side of the world, but here in this very same state, who are craving a mom and a dad. Somebody that will hold them, tell them a story, or tuck them in. And here I am, upset over the fact that I can't figure out what tasty treat I want to enjoy next. It's upsetting. And I bring this up because there are students in my very class that I can tell are craving something. They want something, but they don't know what it is because they've never been exposed to it. I've been exposed to cheesy and crunchy and salty and delicious. That's why I know that I want it. But there are kids in my very classroom that have never been exposed to the finer things this world has to offer. There are some finer things I've never been exposed to, but my low-budget stuff might be their high-end thing. And that's really annoying to me that these kids have not experienced. I talked about this last year. Excuse me. How we took our kids to the mini golf course, and some of these kids didn't know how to hold the club, let alone play the game. And I took that for granted. We played mini golf all the time when I was a kid. It was like one of our go-to activities as a family. And so that's upsetting to me that I can sit here craving something and not even be able to put my finger on it because there are too many options. And these kids are having the same issue, but it's because they don't know what's out there. There's a boy in my class who I can tell he wants to do something fantastic, but he is limited, whether by resources or by time or by location. He feels limited, and there's nothing at this stage in my life that I can do to help him other than teach him about what's out there. But how can you teach somebody without experience? That's how people learn, is through experience. In my opinion, there's only so much you can learn from a book. But once you go out there and do something, in the TV series Scrubs, Season 1, Episode 1, I believe, JD and Turk have just graduated from med school, and they are interns at Sacred Heart Hospital. JD is internal medicine, and Turk is surgery. And they're exploring how they're two different worlds. JD is very nervous about diagnosing and being around sick people and trying to help them when they're, when they actually need them. And Turk is very much, oh wow, I get to do stuff, learn by doing, get in there, cut somebody open, operate on them, explore. And only when he tells JD about that, how to learn by doing, does JD start to feel comfortable in what he's doing. And I realize this is fictional, but it's very applicable to today, in that how can you learn how to do something without ever having experienced it? First, how can you know you want to if you've never experienced it? How can you know that you want to do something that's awesome if you've never had the opportunity to do that awesome thing? It's hard. But people are craving something. People crave success. People crave money. People crave admiration. But they don't know that they're craving those things. They don't know that they need them, that they want them so badly because they've never experienced it. And so that's the message I'm trying to convey to my students. And we're still early in the school year. We're in week 3. It's not a big deal that I feel like they're not grasping it yet because we haven't had the time to. But I want them so desperately to be aware of what's out there so that when they do start to crave something, they have something to crave. Emotionally, not just physically. Mentally. These are the things I think about that I don't really talk with my colleagues about because a lot of them are on their way out, as it were. Pretty much everybody that I've come to know and work with in my time at this school is retiring in the next 5 to 7 years. So they're more on the plane of, oh, I've done this, I've seen all this, I've encountered all this, oh, I'm so tired of it. Which they've earned the right to be. But I hope I'm never like that. I don't want to be 30 years into my career and saying, ugh, same old thing. I don't want to be 5 years into my career and saying, ugh, same old thing. That's where I am right now. I'm at 5 years. And I'll tell you what, some situations are similar, but there's nothing that's the same. The content is the same, but the method and the delivery is completely different. The reception is completely different. So I'm working hard to understand what these kids crave and give them the opportunity to achieve it, to quench their intellectual thirst, as it were, and just to want to be awesome and know how to achieve that. I have to give a shout out to, I hope this shows up correctly. I think it's Pro Gamer Pure, but yes, there are 2 M's in gamer. Nice kid. Gave me a shout out on his channel, asking his viewers to subscribe to me. I'll have a link to his channel in the description if you couldn't see it on the note. I know it's kind of bright, but go and check out a couple of his videos. He does gaming videos where he, walkthroughs and things like that. So give him some love, say hi, and I'll see you in the morning.